Oh man, what a haul. And just in time to start the show, too. Hey, this is Mark Rodriguez.
And this is Johnny Rodriguez, and you're watching the Video Game Masters. Bro, what's with the sweater? It's hot as hell over here.
Well, you know how it is, Johnny. It's that time of year again. Starting to get kind of cold. Time to wear the old beanie and sweater and stuff like that.
Well, it sure isn't cold here. We're in the 80 degrees right here where I'm at.
Well, yes, Johnny. Maybe it's not where you're at, but it's pretty cold where I'm at. And I never thought I would say this, but I actually miss the heat. But, you know, that's how it goes, right? So anyways, guys, in today's episode, we're going to talk about Final Vendetta. It's another digital release. It's a retro-style beat-em-up made in modern day. And thanks to Limited Run Games, I got the physical copy. And yes, I'm once again buying stuff from Limited Run Games. I've had good luck with them lately with Final Vendetta. And also the King of Fighters 2002 Unlimited Mash. That title's always been a mouthful. And Scott Pilgrim vs. the World. There we go. And also the music soundtracks for King of Fighters 94 and King of Fighters 95. But unfortunately though, due to negative experiences that other people have had, including people that we know personally, I can't wholeheartedly and confidently recommend that you guys get Limited Run Games. I've had good luck, others have not, so it's kind of like, you know, buyer beware, buy at your own risk, you know?
Oh yeah, buying Limited Run Games is a gamble sometimes. Just ask Jack Knipes about that one.
Seriously, do you guys have to bring me up every time you talk about limited run games?
Sorry, Jack, but you're a perfect example.
Fuck limited run games.
Okay, so on to Final Vendetta. Let's check it out.
Yeah, let's get into that.
Final Vendetta was released on June 16, 2022 for the PS4, Xbox One, Nintendo Switch, and PC gaming by Numbskull Games. It's a retro-style two-player beat-em-up as Duke Sancho, Claire Sparks, and Mildred T. Williams hit the streets of London to rescue Claire's sister Juliet from the Syndicate 8 gang.
You can choose between the three heroes, Duke being the best with the combos, Claire being the fastest, and Miller being the larger powerhouse. You fight your way through 6 stages of action, full of all sorts of bad guys and dangerous hazards. The crew has several moves, and a lot of them can be combined into combos. Other than your usual punches and kicks, throws and holds, everyone also gets a dashing attack and a super attack that takes away a bit of your health, and even some extra hidden attacks. Now the super attack is an extra energy bar. If the bar is full, you will not lose any health while doing it, so that's pretty cool. You can also kick the enemies when they're down because hey, all's fair when your life is on the line. You can also find weapons as well as food to help regain your health, and random items to add extra points. You can also find hidden 1-ups. And with the way this game plays, you'll need those extra lives.
Stage 1 starts you off on the main streets as you fight your way through the Syndicate 8 street punks. The boss is a guy named Big Frank who fights like a boxer. Stage 2 is the underground where you fight through the subway and inside the trains. Looks very familiar if you ask me. The boss is Diesel and he throws time bombs at you.
Stage 3 is the elevator, since every beat 'em up game needs some sort of elevator level, because of course it does. As you go deeper underground, you fight the scientist. He is able to teleport all over the place and do some fancy kicks. Stage 4 is the dock side, where you have to avoid several traps and hazards while fighting through the bad guys. The boss here is the Gentleman, who is a wrestler that kinda looks like the Macho Man wearing the Undertaker's hat and tie. Stage 5 is Gloop Degret, where you crash the party on the bad guys. The club music here is so poppin', even the bad guys are dancing along to the beat. That's pretty cool. You run into Big Frank, who is looking for round 2, before you face the bosses. The bosses here are the deadly twin capoeira fighting sisters, Luisa and Luana.
Stage 6 is the Manor Grounds, and it looks like the Syndicate 8 doesn't take good care of their place. The stage is full of traps and even a rematch with Diesel. The stylish and classy final boss is Osric. He's very similar to Rugal in his classy style, and if you defeat him, he turns into a more powerful version of himself that looks a lot like Omega Rugal. Thank God he doesn't have the genocide cutter.
Besides the arcade mode, you can also unlock the survival mode to see how long you can last against a never-ending army of bad guys with just one life. There's also a boss rush mode where you can see if you can defeat all the bosses in one go. You can also change the game's difficulty and have a stage select. The harder the difficulty, the less lives you have, and there are more hazards to avoid, sometimes even during the boss fights.
Alright guys, so here are my thoughts on Final Vendetta. And what can I say? The game has a lot of highs and lows, so let's start off with the highs.
Well, first of all, the most important thing, the game is a lot of fun. I love all the characters, the graphics are pretty cool, love the backgrounds, the overall beat 'em up action feels good, but possibly the best part is the soundtrack. I just love the soundtrack. They should really release a separate CD for the soundtrack alone. The game also has a lot of cool combos, though they're a lot more technical and require more precise timing than, say, Streets of Rage 4 and Shredder's Revenge. I also like the little details, like some of the bad guys are just chilling in the background, drinking wine while you're getting beat up, or they're dancing along to the beat at Club Tigre. I like cool things like that. The game is very hard though, and it does go back to the old days of the arcades, except here, you don't have any extra quarters. The regular game gives you no continues and you're expected to beat it all in one shot. The bad guys are also very cheap, and some of them even attack you when they're getting back up, so if you're too close to them when they're lying down, you're in for a cheap shot. And of course, all the hazards are incredibly annoying, especially the first time playing where you don't know where they're coming from, and that hydraulic press is a one-hit kill, which is very annoying in a game like this where every life you have matters. The game was so hard that the game developers had to go back and add in the casual mode and the stage select mode to make it easier. Now the major downside is the game is just too short. You only get 6 stages and not much else. You know, the survival mode and stuff is nice, but doesn't really add like a lot to it, and there really aren't any signs of extra DLC coming our way. I know it's going for a more retro feel, but even the older beat 'em up games like the X-Men and the Simpsons arcade, like they at least had like 8 stages. The weirdest thing here is that there's also no online play for this game. That's pretty strange for 2022.
It's weird that Final Vendetta doesn't have online play. In fact, a lot of modern beat 'em ups were more successful thanks to online play like Streets of Rage 4 and TMNT Shredder's Revenge. And speaking of Shredder's Revenge, Final Vendetta was released on the exact same day as the Ninja Turtles game. So that didn't help much with the game's popularity. You know, most people were playing that one instead of Final Vendetta.
I know, man. Like, releasing the game the same day as TMNT Shredder's Revenge, like, what were they thinking, you know? But anyways, the game's a lot of fun, but it's kind of hard for me to like, recommend blindly. I usually say, oh my god, this game is awesome, get this game, or, you know, oh god, this game sucks, or whatever, and stuff like that. So this game really is based on what you guys think, what you guys feel, based on the footage and stuff like that. Because on one side, the game in itself is a lot of fun and everything, but on the other side, like, you know, only 6 stages, no online play, you know, just, I don't know, like I wanted more. This game is pretty much up to you guys. I personally can't recommend it. Like, I had fun. I pre-ordered the game on Limited Run Games, so of course I didn't know until I actually got the game what I was getting into, but it looked cool and it was fun. But due to it having like no online play, which is one hell of a big killer, especially nowadays, you know, no online play, only 6 stages, not much like other like things. I mean, survival mode, you know, it's kind of fun, but you know what I mean? So it's kind of like based on what you guys think. Personally, I would recommend getting it like full price. If there's ever like a discount on the PSN sale or something, or you know, down the line it's like $10. Yeah, definitely get it for $10, but full price, I don't know. That's up to you guys. I mean, I got it pre-ordered, so you know, I had no say in the matter with the final product. But like I said, I can't like blindly recommend this game. This one is up to you guys and your thoughts. So, on that note, this is Mark Rodriguez here, wrapping up this episode of Video Game Masters.
And this is Johnny Rodriguez. Thanks for watching and see you next time.
Alrighty then. So in this case, I'm going to go read some comics and get me something to eat. See you next time, guys.
Fuck limited run games.